How'd you do that?
Whoa.
He did it.
Oh, boy. Holy cow. All you have to do is ask.
Hey guys, how y'all doing out there? It's time for another tutorial from VideoEditingSoftwareGuy.com. Alright people, it's time to get our Marty McFly on Back to the Future style. I'm bringing the heat, I'm bringing the fire, I'm bringing the flame trails into your life with the Back to the Future effect. Let's get into it. First and foremost, you got to set up your shot. Now, you need a shot of the car going down the street, and you need a shot of the street by itself with no cars going down it. Now, when you do this, make sure that you put your DSLR or your camcorder on a tripod, all right, and do the takes all at once. That means hit the record button and don't stop recording until you get all your shots, a shot of the street by itself and a shot of the car going down the street. What this will do for you, it'll ensure that the light and the shadows stay the same, all right? Make sure you do that. Make your shot look right and tight, all right? Now, I got my two shots already in the timeline. I got this shot here, which is the car going down the street. And then I have this shot here, which is the street all by itself. Now, you need these two shots to make the transition to jump back to the future. Now, the first thing you want to do is you want to bring the playhead to a position where you want your fire trails to enter. And I think this is a pretty good spot for me. So what I want to do now is I want to put my cursor right on the timeline here, and I want to see this little green line. What this little green line means to me is that I can put a timeline marker here. So if I line up my little green line with the red line right in the middle of the playhead, hit the right mouse click and do add timeline marker. Now you can put notes there if you want to call it transition to the future, whatever the freaking heck you want to call it. I don't want to call it nothing, so I'm just going to click OK. Now you will see there is now a timeline marker here. And if I were to click on it, it would make my playhead go there. And it also, it will be used as a place where my video will lock in where the timeline marker is now. So what that means is now, if I hit play here, you'll see, because I went ahead and put the track with nothing happening, just the street, right below the track of the car. If I hit play, you'll see the car go down the street and disappear. That's where we need to put our freaking fire. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to move this out of the way because I don't want that in the way right now. I just want to bring my fire. So I'm going to drag my fire down. Now, this fire is from detonationfilms.com, free stuff, so you get it for free. You don't got to pay a damn red cent for it. So I'm going to left click this, drag it down to the timeline, right where my timeline marker is, because once again, I know that's where my car is going to disappear. I don't care about your freaking frame rate conflict right now. You'll fix it later. All right, so now I brought my fire down, and you can see this is not the freaking fire I want. I got to fix it. So if I click on the fire, left click it to make sure that I have it active, I'm going to go to modify. Now, I'm going to click on Enable Chroma Key because right now it's on Chroma Key. If it wasn't on Chroma Key, I would just click on Chroma Key here. Then I would click on Enable Chroma Key, and then magically all the black would disappear. That's freaking awesome. Now, I need to move my playhead back to the beginning here where the car is. So let me do that real quick. All right, so now I can see the car. I can see the fire, but it's still not right. I need to turn this freaking fire around and get it lined up how I want it. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit zoom out. The reason why I did that is because when you hit zoom out, you can now see you got your rotation tool here. So if I put my cursor over this little green dot and left click, I can now rotate my flameage. Rotate the flameage. Now that I got it rotated, I can line it up with the tire. That's better. So once again, I'm going to move my playhead and make sure that tire kind of lines up with the fire, and the right tire is lined up with the fire quite well. So I like that. Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this like it is, because I like it like that. Now I need more fire for the other tire. So I'm going to drag another clip of fire and bring it right beneath the other one. I'm going to right click on this fire, and I'm going to go to copy keyframe attributes. I'm going to right click on this fire and do paste keyframe attributes. And click OK. And now it's turned just like the other one was turned. But I still need to get my Chroma Key on. All right. So I'm going to go to modify. And I'm going to do enable Chroma Key. And now I got my Chroma Key on. Now, it just looks like there's just one thing of fire there. Well, I copied the keyframe attributes over. So what that means is that they're both sitting on top of one another. So I'm just going to drag this one over to the other tire. So I'm going to save this now. And of course, you can rotate your fire how you want it and all of that good stuff. Make it look how you want. Now that I have my fire in place, I'm going to drag the clip of the street by itself over to the timeline marker again. Now what you shall see is that when we play this back, you'll see the car come down the street, disappear, and then there's flame. I like that. Looks freaking awesome. Now we need to add some more loveness to this. We need to add some loveness. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click on the timeline next to one of my fires, and I'm going to hold down the left mouse, and I'm going to drag it over these two video clips. Now the reason why I did that is because now I can move them simultaneously, so I'm going to drag both of these down to the track below, which will open up this track here. The reason why I'm doing that, I need to bring some spark into the scene. All right, and I want the spark to be above the car and above the street so that it shows, just like the fire shows. But I want the fire to be separate from it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these sparks. These sparks are from detonationfilms.com, free stuff as well. So I'm going to drag this down into the timeline. I'm going to bring it right to where the other tracks are. Now, I'm going to drag out my timeline here to make it so I can see the different keyframes. And the reason why I'm doing that is, well, a few different reasons. I want this to be 4 frames before the fire comes onto the street. It'll make it look more realistic if I do it that way. And it will help me in splitting this clip because I need to get rid of this freaking words. All right, there's words here. It says Detonation Films. I don't need those words. So I want to move my playhead to, I can see the little words here. Move my playhead here and move over a frame. And now move back 1 frame. Just make sure that I'm right where the words disappear. Seems to be right here. So I'm going to click on this sparks and I'm going to split it. And then I'm going to click on the front part and I'm going to hit the trash can to delete it. And I want to move clips on the same track, which will move it to the beginning where I need it. All right. Coolio. All right, next thing I need to do is I want to move this up about 4 frames. So I'm going to just left click it and drag it to three, 4 frames. All right, so let's come back here. And let's make sure 4 frames over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now I'm going to bring my timeline back down to size. Yeah. Now, like I said, I did that because it'll make it look more realistic, because the flash will happen a little bit before the fire or the flame trails hit the screen. So it'll just help it look more realistic. Now I'm going to click on the sparks, go to modify. And once again, I'm going to enable the chroma key here. Now, I want to move my playhead forward a little bit because I want to make sure there's not any residual blacks and craziness going on. And I see some nasty stuff. That's nasty. I don't need all of that. All right, so let me move my playhead back to where all that gross black extra stuff was that I don't like. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit tolerance of saturation, and it should take out that black nastiness. And I'm also going to hit up my edge sharpness. Help to take out a little bit of it too. My tolerance of hue up as well. Shouldn't have to go to 60 though. Let's see. That's good right there. So now I shouldn't see any of that extra black crud that was on there. It should just be smoke and sparks. All right. Now I'm going to move my playhead back to the beginning and just move it up a few frames here. I see the little spark happening here. So I want to move this over where the car is going to actually disappear at, which is about right there. And that's good. I'm going to hit save. And now when I play this back, beautiful. All right. So that looks freaking awesome. Got that all set up. Now remember a few things. Your flames are going to need to be how your flames need to be. You need to turn them and line them up the way that you got to line them up to match your tires and where they're going. Also, you got to make sure you put the spark at the right place. Just leave it any old place. Put it right where the car is going to disappear at. It'll make it look good. Also, the sparks will show up where the car was, so it makes it look really realistic. All right. Last but not least, we need to create the little light jumping on the front of the car. So I'm going to go to the front of this clip. And now I'm going to go to Effects. Where's it at? And Special. And I'm going to go Lens Flare. So I'm going to drag this lens flare down onto the clip of the car going down the street. Now that it's on there, you see it's not how I want it. It's nowhere near. It's just a regular old lens flares. Got stuff going across the screen. That's not going to freaking help me. So I'm going to click on Effect. Now what I want to do first is I want to make sure that I can change all of these things, but I need to keyframe everything. So I'm going to click on Keyframe. Now that I got everything where I need it and lens flare is already open, I'm going to change the lens flare type. I'm going to change it to type 4, which is a nice blue glow. All right. Let's do this. I'm going to change the size first. Dang it. I'm going to make it smaller because I don't need it so big when he's first coming down the street. Now I'm going to go to position. And then we'll get the little pop-up box here. Just move this little red dot right on top of the front of the car. And click OK. We're going to bring the brightness down at the beginning because, you know, we got to see more of the car. It can't be so gigantic. It's far away. So you got to make the little light smaller. Then I'm going to go to center position motion. I'm going to click on that. Now, what that does, it changes the center position of your lens flare. Now, I'm going to drag this all the way up to the left because I don't want to see all those extra lights going across the screen and stuff. So by bringing it there, I'm not going to see it anymore. Might see it barely, but you're not going to see a big extra light on the screen. I'll click OK. All right, so now you can either just go frame by frame and click on the step forward button to make sure that the light stays on the front of the car. And if it doesn't stay on the front of the car, then you just need to click on position and move it again. So right now it's in a pretty good position. But what I want to do now is I want to kind of move it back towards the center. And I also want to make some adjustments to the light because I'm trying to make the light flicker. So let's go ahead and change the light position again. Make sure it's right on the front of the car in the middle. Okay. All right, change the size of the light, make it a little bit bigger here because I'm trying to get my flicker on. All right. Move my brightness up. I want to change my light size, bring it up a little bit. And then you just keep stepping through, making the changes to the light. So this is the end position, like right where the fire comes on and everything. So what we want to do here is we want to blow this sucker up, like extra large. So I'm going to change the size and just make it huge. I'm going to turn my light size up, where it just basically blows out the screen. And I'm going to turn my brightness up as well. Just want to actually almost have it make everything white. Not everything, but just about. I want to see some of the video on the corners and stuff here. And that looks good right there. So when you're done, go ahead and click on the X. And I didn't keyframe every single thing of this, so, you know, not going to actually be as clean as the demo, but let's take a look at it. All you got to do now, add your sound, add your music, whatever the heck you want to add to it, the sound of the car driving, the explosion, all that good stuff, and you're freaking done. All right? Boom. In your face. Back to the Future style. Right here. VideoEditingSoftwareGuide.com. All right, people. You know the routine. All right? You know how it goes down. The thumb. The one that's pointed in the upward direction. Click it. Like it. Live it. Love it. Hug it. Comments. Leave me your comments, people. All right? I love comments. If you got a question, if you need help, I'll help you out. I'll answer your question. If I can't, I'll point you in the right direction to get you the help you need. And last, but definitely not least, don't you ever forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.